Hello.
Good afternoon, almost afternoon. It's 11 o'clock here. I'm curious what time it is for everybody else that's joining us. Make sure to say hi. Make sure to let us know where you're from.
Yeah, I want to know that.
We're here with Alice
Yeah.
Scalfi.
Yeah.
And I am Mark Risen, your host. This is my second time. Alice, this is your first time joining us?
Yeah.
And where are you
Very
joining us
excited.
from?
Well, Connecticut, but
Okay.
actually I'm Italian. You might know that by my name. But yeah, I came from Connecticut. I'm very jet lagged.
Oh yeah, tired?
Yeah.
For a flight yesterday?
Yeah, I flew in yesterday and I woke up at 5 this morning, so
It's tough.
excuse me. Yeah, that's fine. I had time to drink a lot of coffee. So
Great. Okay. So Alice is wired. I mean, we're going to just have amazing design energy coming out
Okay.
today, which is awesome.
try to do that.
We've got Uzi from Tel Aviv.
Portugal.
Hey,
Love
Martin.
it. What part of Connecticut? I'm actually from Bridgeport.
Bridgeport.
Be proud.
We've got
Yeah.
some highs from Malaysia. So we're going to be using Adobe XD today, which is probably one of the faster ways to prototype.
Yeah. Oh my God,
At least,
yes.
yeah, maybe for you also, but for me, it's definitely a really, really great tool provided by Adobe. We're going to be focusing on some product design. I think you have some things planned for us.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Just a real quick backdrop. So just give us a little bit of history on just maybe
Yeah.
design or where you're
Design.
from.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Alice. If we get on my screen, you can see how to actually pronounce it. That's fine. Alice, anything is fine. I've been a designer for 6 years. As I said, I came from Italy, so I did my bachelor in Italy, so I had this formal education on design there, and then I got my master's here, so that's how I landed in the US, and I stayed here. I mean, so nice. So I live in Connecticut, where I work for a digital marketing consultancy called Avrio, where I'm the creative manager, which kind of means that I get to do anything and everything, meaning I do illustration and UX, which I love. That's the biggest part of my job, I guess. Editorial, anything, I get to oversee all of it. And ever since I started working on UX in my company, I always used XD. So I don't even know how to use anything else. So that's my comfort zone.
So we've got an XD Pro here.
Okay, I don't know if you want to go as far as that, but yeah.
Awesome.
And well, here I have kind of my handles if you want to find me on social media. I'm not
Awesome.
a super
Cool.
entertaining kind of social media person, but sure, I'll take any follower. Do you want me to kind of introduce what we're going to
Sure,
do today?
yeah. And just for me, so I'm Mark Risen,
Oh, yeah.
hosted before. I'm definitely here local in San Francisco. I'm a design manager at a company called Atlassian, which does some products that maybe you've heard of, Jira, Stride, which is our new chat product, and I work on the Bitbucket team. So we're going to be doing some product design. We also have a challenge today. So for those of you that are in the chat saying hi, send us some emojis, maybe some hand waves too if you guys can. But we've got a design challenge here today, which I think is designing or redesigning your favorite social media experience. And we've also provided an awesome, you guys, like, I don't know if you've seen some of these templates that have been provided, but all of the UI templates that are shared or designed by other people are just awesome, and they really, really help speed up your work. So there's a UI template provided. We're going to be giving away some socks later on. These amazing.
Can I have some too?
Well, you can't have these. These are going to everybody else. But
Wait,
yes,
can I
well,
touch it?
Yep.
Ooh, that's actually very soft.
So very comfy
that.
socks, which is good because it's raining right now in
Yes.
San Francisco, and
Yes.
it's a little bit chilly. So we'll be going through some submissions for those of you that have submitted in the last challenge. Yes, we got some high fives, some hand waves.
Finally.
So we'll be looking at some of the challenges. We'll definitely pick a winner. The winner today, I believe, is receiving a full year of the Adobe subscription to Adobe Cloud,
Nice.
which is awesome. And yeah,
Hey, we have Italians. Ciao.
ciao, buongiorno.
Oh, actually, you should know that this guy actually knows
I
Italian
do.
too. He was telling me that he went to the same university where I went for his master's.
That's
so
true.
there's a connection here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we just got 2 Italians. So probably at the last 30 minutes, we're just going to speak Italian for the
Yeah, exactly.
whole 30
So
minutes, which is going to be.
anybody that is not Italian, get out.
So,
Yeah, don't write anything bad in Italian in the chat because we can tell and he understands too.
It's
So,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
so
Alice.
Alice, yes. I'm gonna introduce kind of really quickly what we're gonna work on today. First of all, when I had to decide what to do, what to make today, I thought it's always much easier to start with something that you're passionate about, just because you, on top of being the designer, you are the user as well, and definitely you have a lot of knowledge about the thing. So if you have to start something from scratch and you will have full control on it, definitely start from something you're very passionate about. You can see here a list of things that I'm passionate about, and I had to cut it down because I had things like Game of Thrones, and I was like, you know what, let me be a little bit more professional here. And then I chose one, which is gardening, which it's a debatable passion because I love flowers and plants, and I wish I could keep them alive, but that doesn't work. So actually that's gonna be a good inspiration for what we're gonna do in the app, and I'm gonna talk more about it later. And a second thing that I considered are UX trends, and I think it's very important to always look into the trends, because let's say you have a big client with this very complex app. By the time it's actually developed and it goes live, the things that when you created it were trends now are what is expected to be done in the market. So you really want to have an idea of how to be kind of innovative and have one step forward, right? So I underlined the two that definitely I'm gonna introduce in the app, which is, if you don't know what biometrics is, it's like the ability to use your fingerprint to unlock apps on your phone or just to access, and also the new Apple kind of recognition of your face. And then obviously personalization, which I don't know if that's a trend anymore. Like, it's kind of a thing that you have to have. Like, at this point of history, technology is so developed that you have to take in consideration your user, and you have to give it some kind of level of customization, right?
Yeah, and by personalization, you mean like individual customer needs?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about how I introduced that in the app, but there are different ways, right? And you obviously we're gonna also talk about personas and keep that in consideration when you think about the way you want to create personalization inside your app, right?
Awesome.
But to give you a better idea, so what we're gonna create today, we're gonna create an application that is an e-commerce where to buy plants. And when I say plants, I mean just green plants. Mainly because my thinking was flowers are great. I love flowers, but they last maybe 2 weeks and then they die. And even plants die. I kill them all, but then I bought this plant, right? And it's still alive after 2 years for the simple reason that I have to water it once every 3 weeks, which is pretty much the amount of time that it takes for me to remember that I own a plant. So I thought, oh, you know what? How nice would it be if an app that sells you plants also gives you the opportunity to answer some questions about yourself and actually be matched like Tinder for apps, for plants.
For plants.
With the plant that mostly suits your lifestyle and the environment
Awesome.
where you live, right? So we're gonna do that. Kind of it's the innovative feature about the app.
That's
And
great.
the way we're gonna do it is, so we have 3 days. So it's today, tomorrow, and Thursday at the same time. And today we're gonna mostly work on the UX design. So we're gonna define goals and users, personas. Then we're gonna create the wireframes and hopefully get to do some of the UI. We'll see how it goes. It depends how much time all of this takes. And the interesting part, exciting for the chat, I hope, you're gonna choose the name of the app. So.
Awesome.
Go crazy. I mean, it's all about green plants. So I'm pretty sure all these people in the app are much more creative than me when it comes to names. So I trust you guys. So on the second day, we're going to do mostly UI design. We're going to introduce the brand. So at that point, we will have the name of the app, so we can introduce that and then completely design the UI. And the last day, so I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to kind of leverage the fact that, as I said, I get to work on many different kinds of design, and I did get some knowledge. I do own some knowledge about animation, and I thought, you know what? I've seen many times in these live streams, designers kind of promote how to export, how to prototype your app or your creation experience for the client or for the developer. But no, I don't know. The ones that I've seen never talked about. What if you're a designer that has just started and you want to promote your work? You want to promote something that you created on your own on Behance, which is pretty much you can use that as your main portfolio, right? So I thought, you know what? Let's create an animation, which now it's a thing. Obviously, you want GIFs that show the interactions within your experience. I'm gonna animate that and export it in a way that can be uploaded on Behance. So hopefully many of you can find that interesting and useful, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're gonna do. And
wonderful.
Before starting, I have kind of an introduction about UX that I would like to make.
Okay.
Should I start with that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
I'm Anzi. We're already getting some name
suggestions
in here. So for those of you that are joining in, we've definitely put the task to the group here to help us come up with a name for the product that Alice has.
Yeah. Oh, it has already started.
Yeah.
Look at
so
that.
we've got some names coming in here. So we can take some time later on in the chat to kind of pick the name, which is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
It's always fun just to see what people come up with and suggest. Sometimes people even design logos for us, which means you can
that'd be nice.
Get the whole app icon design, which is really, really cool. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining us.
Hey. Z-Plant, I like it. Okay, so it has already started. Okay, I guess let's dig into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's go.
Well, I'm kind of, my head is on top of this part of my presentation. That's fine. So let's start with the UX process, which you might have seen, and I've seen a lot of designers kind of bring different stages, like their process, the way they describe it is always different, but if you look at it, it's kind of similar at the end. There is a bottom line, right? And I do want to show this one specifically because it was very useful to me. So I've read a lot about UX and I've worked on it, right? And I had kind of an idea, obviously, of what it is. And then I was suggested, I don't know who suggested this to me, but thank you. This class, which is from the University of Michigan, Intro to UX, which, by the way, if anybody is interested in taking this, it's like for free on edX, I think. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you can find it, that's fine. It was very useful to me. I thought the very first 4 or 5 slides kind of said everything that I knew about UX design and put it all together. So I was very excited, and I thought maybe it's gonna be useful to somebody out there too, right? So the stages are 3 mainly. So you have assess, design, and build. And what happens in each one of them is this. So assess is more related to UX research. And UX research has interviews, observations, surveys. So anything that can help you gather information about your user and anything that you're working on. Maybe you're redesigning a product or a service. And by the way, I want to underline that UX design can be used on anything. Obviously, when we talk about UX design, maybe we think more about websites and apps, but truly can be applied to anything, products. And you work on products too, right? Mm-hmm. So it can be applied to products, services. So all of this can be applied to anything. Take it and use it on anything. So you gather the data on the UX research, and then you jump into UX design. And before starting with the actual thinking about the product that you're building or anything that you're building, you want to kind of get an idea about how the data that you gathered is going to help you. So you create personas, you create storyboards and scenarios, and this is going to give you just a clear idea about the baseline, and then you can build whatever the best experience that you can obviously. So in this phase, you start with the wireframes. For us, it's going to be wireframes, or you map anything. And then you jump into prototyping. And here, I think it's important to mention that, as you saw here, you kind of go through the process multiple times. You don't go through it just once. You have to always tweak what you're creating. You always have to look for feedback after you have created or you have updated your experience, right? So the process, you don't have to do all of this at every single stage. Most likely, the first time around, you're going to do the interviews and the observations, but the second time you might get more user testing because you're actually showing to a user what you created and you want to get feedback. So at every single stage, you kind of do something different. And that's why it's going to look more like this. So it's kind of a spiral that gets closer and closer to the answer, I guess. And so now we defined what the process looks like, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how do we know if what we created or what we've seen around like UX projects are good or bad? So there are 4 components that have to be considered. The first one is value. So what does the user need? And is our solution addressing and fulfilling this need, right? Then usability. So most likely our user is solving this issue or is fulfilling the need in a different way right now. So is our solution that we are going to introduce going to be different? And if different, is it going to be easy for our user to adapt to it? Then adaptability, which means where the user looks for the solution when he has a problem, and is our solution going to be visible to him? And finally, desirability, which is very important, but I think it has to be done always last, because you have to define all these other things first, right? So it's more related to not only the aesthetics of what we create, but mainly the features. So those things that are gonna make the experience delightful for the user. Mm-hmm. So now, sorry I talked so much, but we're gonna apply this to what we are gonna create today, right? So starting, obviously today we couldn't do the UX research part, so I did it before, and I kind of talked to people and I kind of tried to understand what our users are. And I had 2 takeaways from it, which is, first of all, people, our users, want easy access and support in the purchase of plans. And second of all, they're buying plans. They're not buying like an insurance. We want to make it fun. It has to be cool. It has to be entertaining. So I thought, on top of having graphics, cool graphics, we also want like a pinch of humor, like something nice, funny, and just we're gonna work also on the communication of the app, how it's gonna talk to our user, right? So now I have defined 2 personas, and I will try to get very quickly through these. Personas can be much more detailed than this, but it's just to give you an idea, right? So the first persona is the example of returning customer, I guess. So it's a restaurant owner. He understands that the environment is as important as the food in his restaurant. So he wants to have this vibrant atmosphere that can be conveyed with the purchase of plants. And for him, it's very useful to have an app on which they can he can buy the plants, because he, as I said, as you can see here on the pain point, he likes to spend time in the restaurants and with the customers, which takes away time from talking to the suppliers. So being able to do this online and have this personalized experience through the questionnaire that we were talking about is going to be very useful to him. The second persona is a completely different person. She works in an office and she's a service strategist. This is like an Easter egg. If you don't know what a service strategist is, it's actually a very good profession for designers. It's very interesting if you like psychology and human behaviors and you want to know more about that. That's amazing. Anyway, let's say she works in this office and she's very, very busy. It takes a lot of time. So she doesn't have that much time to spend with her family, her husband, but she still tries to kind of show her affection, how much she cares by, I don't know, taking them out once in a while, getting one day just for them, or showing them support by doing something for them in moments of need. So in this scenario that I provided here, her husband just started a new job and she knows how hard it is for the few days at the very beginning to kind of get accustomed to the new place. So she would benefit from getting a plan to be delivered to him, and also it's going to be personalized. It's going to be perfect for him and for the place where he is. So that is instead an example of a one-time customer that could have this delightful experience and then suggest the app to her mother-in-law or a best friend or something, right? So I guess we could have had more personas. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's many, but this, I think, gives a general good overview. And now I'm done talking. Now we can start with the actual action, I guess. So I always do comparative research analysis, which means you kind of go out there and you look for examples on the market that do the same thing. How do they do it? And you try to define weaknesses and strengths. And I kind of did it here with this example. And who is from Europe is gonna know this brand? I don't know if you have it in the US, Interflora. Okay, it's like...
I feel like I've seen the logo before, though.
Yeah, I feel like there is an American version. I'm not sure. But anyway, so they sell flowers online. I don't believe they have an app, or maybe they do just in France. I kind of looked into it and I couldn't find an answer for that. And they sell flowers, so this was very useful in kind of understanding what kind of questions do you want to ask your user to sell them a plant, right? Or what kind of promotions you want to make, what would you want to talk about. So that was very good and a good inspiration for the content. And then I brought these other example, which is outside the industry. And I think it's very important. Sometimes the best solution has been used in a different industry and you just have to do some more research. So in this case, it's ASOS. ASOS is British, I believe, but you can actually use it in the US, and I'm biased because I use it all the time. But it's e-commerce for retail, and I think it's just brilliant. I mean, there are small things. They're very cool, like based on your past purchases and other people's purchases, I believe, they can tell you what is the best size for you on any piece of clothing that they have. So you kind of choose, you're browsing around, you choose whatever you want to see, and they tell you right away, for this one, your size is whatever number. And I just love it. Or just they have, on top of pictures, they have videos of people actually wearing the dress or anything. And that really helps. I think that's a great UX. And then so what we're gonna do right now, we're going to analyze them really quickly. I just want to kind of show you the things that I noticed when I was doing research about this.
Awesome.
Okay.
That sounds great.
So.
All right. So we had quite a few name and logo submission, or not logo submissions, but name ideas. So thank you everybody that's contributing. We'll have to find a way to at least kind of narrow some of those down and pick some. But I saw some really, really fun ideas going in there.
Okay.
Also, for those of you that are joining us from other countries and different parts of the world, just let us know where you're from. Say hi.
Yeah.
We're really happy that you're here.
I actually think I saw my professor
Alex,
signing, and he was like,
White
Alex
in there.
Hi, Professor White.
So we got some people very proud to see Alice.
Yeah. No pressure at all.
Nope.
So let's I guess you can see, yeah. So what I did, I'm using Photoshop Sketch. I believe Adobe has tutorials on how to use it. I did learn from, if you've seen the stream before, Paul that was hosting, I actually watched one of his streams to know how to use it, which is very cool. So I created different layers that I think you can see here, right? And I have here the picture, and then I'm gonna just trace on this layer, right? You can always kind of delete what you want. It's pretty cool. I like it. I want to buy an iPad Pro now. So, so this is a screenshot of the Interflora that I was telling you about. It's the website because, as I said, I couldn't find an app that was in English. So I think, and I just took the homepage because that was the most important part for me. So what I wanted to notice is that the first thing, you have kind of this, which is they're mentioning Father's Day, right? And I think this is a good example. Actually, I want to say home pages. Now, you tell me what you think about it. But I have noticed that home pages, you have mostly two things. You have shortcuts. Sorry for my handwriting. And promotion. So it depends on the company, but most likely they want to kind of facilitate your navigation. So they want to give you shortcuts to the most seen pages, or they just want to show you something that they really want your attention to be on, right? So in this case, this is kind of both, I guess. They want to remind you that it's Father's Day soon. And when is Father's Day, by the way? It's like in May?
Yes.
Okay. And they want to obviously promote that, so that if you're there to buy flowers for your girlfriend, maybe you're like, oh my God, I need to buy something for my father's as well, right? And this, it's very similar. These are sets of flowers that they want to promote. So Interflora creates also sets with like products, and they always want to promote that, I guess. So that's why this is the second kind of option that you have. And then you have the actual.
It's in June.
Yeah.
Father's Day is in June.
June.
We
Okay.
put it out to the crowd.
Thank you, guys. June. So Mother's Day is coming sooner, and they didn't put Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is in May.
See? I need to remember that actually. So here, instead, you have the actual shortcuts, right? So you have the bestsellers, which I think was one of the things I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. And then you have more promotions. So it kind of follows the rule that I was telling before about the two things that you might want on your homepage, right? And that was very interesting, because then I kind of defined, okay, so what are the things that we personally want to be on our app? So our app, we want probably to promote, what do we want to promote? Probably want to promote the feature, the most important feature of our app, which is that you can answer questions and you're gonna be matched with the plant, right? So we want to promote that.
Yeah, connecting you to specific plants.
Yeah. I apologize again for my handwriting. I will try to do better. And then we probably want to promote the same thing, occasions, right? Occasions, like Father's Day, Mother's Day. That's a great idea. And actually a good thing would be to have maybe labels on every product saying, oh, this is great for Father's Day. Or this
Like
is
a
great.
recommendation?
Yeah. So you have like your page where it's everything that is great for Mother's Day, but even if you're kind of looking at products in general, plants in general, you then click on one and it says, oh, by the way, this is great for Mother's Day, right? So it's a kind of double promotion. And finally, we might have, I really like the bestsellers, right? So we're gonna have that, I think. I think this is pretty much all the content that we took, that they have. Yeah. So now I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take this off. This is so cool. I love this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna buy an iPad Pro. Yeah.
And this is I think we're using Adobe Sketch on the iPad. Is that the
Photoshop Sketch?
Or Photoshop Sketch?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're using Adobe or Photoshop Sketch on the iPad Pro.
Yeah.
And we have Alice here, who's going to be taking us through a product experience. Actually, you spent about 5-10 minutes just discussing UX, which was awesome. So for those of you that are just joining in, we spent some time just covering what the UX process was, what it is from a high level. And that's really helpful for us just to frame the problem statement, what we're going to kind of work on.
I think many times it's overlooked. And here obviously we were gonna do something physical, but there is a lot of strategy beforehand. So I really wanted to make sure that was mentioned.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think it's awesome. I actually shared something similar in my talk, but I think it just brings it back to purpose and working with a purpose.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think that's really important. I think that there's obviously times just to design things and just to restyle them for aesthetic purposes, but especially when we're trying to provide content for everyone who's watching, but also just to think about something that could be a complete experience. So yeah, awesome. Just great stuff to share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the most important thing is to remember that whenever you're working on a UX design, it's so easy to just have in your head this beautiful picture of what you're gonna create at the end, but that actually makes you biased. So it's very important at the very beginning to just not think about that and just look into your user and the data and try to use that to inspire you, right?
Yeah.
So
I definitely feel like some of my best projects are ones that I haven't designed for myself. They've actually been for somebody else that I build empathy towards and I learn more about.
Yeah.
But those are generally some of the more satisfying projects.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have opened here and you can see. So this is the app that I was talking about, ASOS. ASOS, I love it. Oh my god, I love it. So we are seeing here a similar situation to the homepage for Interflora, right? We have promotion for the new season, and here, I mean, it scrolls down, but you have more promotions about things that they want you, like there is summer, and then there is like a set of clothing related to maybe the color of the year. There are a lot of promotions like that. And we are also validating what we said before with Interflora, right? So I just wanted to mention that here, and I guess they have here their own promotion about delivery fees and what they would like you to really, really, really do. And here I think this is great. The bar at the very bottom, and it has 5 options, and that is the navigation bar. And I think this works the best, and I would like to really, really introduce it in the app. So you have, this is their homepage, so we might have actually a small house. Then you have search, and I think we're gonna look at it right now. Cart, favorites, and profile. So pretty much what happens in each is search, you just browse through everything, and you probably have filters and categories. Then cart, you just, whatever you added, but I like the fact that actually on cart, they keep whatever you add for 1 hour, while they keep for 60 days your favorites one.
That's cool.
And then I use it all the time. So sometimes I don't need anything and I go on and I just like whatever I might want in the future. And maybe I'm going to find a promotion later on, or I don't know, I'm going to be inspired. I don't know. I use it all the time. And it's so easy because you have, and we're going to see it later, you have these hearts that you just click on. And finally, profile. Profile, it's mostly 2 things. First of all, you can look at old orders, or you can actually say, you know, I want to make the feature that I was talking about being able to go on the dress that you like and they tell you your size, and maybe you find that that's not accurate. You can actually go on your profile, I believe, and you can make that more accurate. So they're gonna show you everything that you've bought so far, and you have, well, first of all, they ask you questions about yourself, like your body shape, and then they give you those, and you can click confirming the ones that actually worked best for you and they were your fit. So I think that's a great feature. So again, now we're gonna move to another screen that I have here. Which is the this is the search. So we are here, right? And what you find out is, first of all, well, they have to divide between woman and man, and then you have different categories, and I really like this because it's very easy to access, right? And within every category you have different filters, so you can actually just narrow it down to what you are actually looking for. And I liked that they had new, then clothing, shoes, and I thought, oh, it wouldn't be nice for our plants to divide, like, oh my god, I have a list of types of plants because I had to do research, but you have like evergreens, and then you have like shrubs,
Ficus,
herbs.
elephant ear, there's all kinds of...
Well, you know
I've
stuff.
I've got like 5 or 6 plants in my house, so, and there's some big plants, but
see, you manage not to kill them. How don't you?
Yeah, just
keep them alive.
Water every week. Yeah.
Wait, is it your wife that keeps them alive?
No.
Okay.
No, don't have a wife. But there's a there's a pro tip, which is actually, I think that if the soil's wet, then you know that they're okay. or you can see and sometimes if there's water collecting at the bottom, you know that they're still okay. But the minute the soil is dry and the minute the water's gone away at the bottom, then you know you have to water them again. So that's kind of the pro tip.
I should try that. I killed so many plants. So then here, I wanted to show finally when you get on the actual thing that you like. I just took a random one. As I said before, now you're still in search, right? As I said before, you have the possibility to like, and it's gonna become black. To like whatever you think you might want in the future, or you want to compare it with something different. And here you have the video, and these are the two main features that I really like about this app. And because it really makes you feel like you're there, you're in the store, and you're buying the thing. And it solves the major issue that I think online shopping had before, which was, but is it gonna fit me, right? Because it's online, you cannot try it out. But I think looking at how the fabric moves in the video, and then having the feature that tells you your own size, that is great. So I think we now defined kind of all the things that we kind of want to have on our app. I think it's time to go into the wireframes. I kind of want to wait. Do we have names for the app yet? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got a bunch of suggestions. I'm gonna actually move them over to a different
Green
screen real quick, so I'll do some work while you're working. I just wanted to, so we had some really good questions. I think Munir asked earlier, is it a good idea to do UX and UI design for websites as well as build the front end? Curious if you have an opinion.
Say it again, sorry.
So he was asking, is it good to do like both design and develop websites like yourself?
I don't develop, actually.
No?
No, okay. I do. I think, you know what? There is this thing which is, you can be a unicorn, right? So you can be able to code, and design is very requested. I would never say no, that's not a dream position to have. Definitely, if you can do that. But I think for a designer, a good balance is to be able to design, being mindful of what code can do, right? So I had to study HTML and CSS, and that's still very useful to me, because I know, first of all, I can read a code, right? So if I go on a website and I look into the code, I can understand where everything is and what the code is talking about. Obviously, I cannot code, but I think it's very important, because obviously then you're in sync with your developer. And if you're not, just have a conversation. Talk to the developer, show it to him, and get his opinion too. I
agree. Like, I definitely think it builds empathy. It helps make you a better designer. Munir, I also think that, you know, for me, I find it hard to be both design and then move into development, because sometimes you set your own constraints. So it's important to kind of separate those rituals so that you're designing and you're giving yourself creative freedom, and then you can go and figure out how to problem solve. It's definitely common that once you learn to develop, you sometimes will adopt those constraints. I do coding. I do develop.
You are a unicorn. Okay.
I'm not a unicorn. I definitely I'm really curious about day 3, where you're going to go into interaction. I definitely think that's an area I can grow in and learn more about, which is animations and interaction design. So that's going to be really exciting.
Well, you see, so animation, especially After Effects, which I'm going to use, is so broad. Like, there are so many things that you can do. Obviously, I think I have limited knowledge. I think it's good for 2D animation, and it's great for just showing interaction. So and that's great. I think it just helps with the client, meaning that sometimes a design is very simple. Let's say it's very minimal, but the interaction is what really makes it special. So you want to be able to show your client also that part. And obviously it's going to be more towards the end, because you don't want to just kind of... And again, you might want to know if that can be done, because I think more on interactions rather than visuals, you could decide to do something crazy, and then the developer is like, no, that can't be done. So definitely keep up a conversation with your developer about it.
We also had another question, which was how to get the most updated version of Adobe XD. So I learned this pro tip from Michael today. which is if you go to the Adobe Creative Cloud system icon up here, you'll see that we have Adobe XD CC, and it's already been updated. If you want to force an update, you can go to check for app updates, and what that should do is that should tell you of the most recent update that's actually come out, and then you can update Adobe XD through there. So let's see, I think the most recent version is 6.0.12.6. And there was a new update that went out last night, which we'll show later on, but I think what it allows you to do is actually import or open Photoshop files in XD now. So we can show some examples of that. On my screen, I also have the dark UI, which is the template that was shared and provided in the challenge. So for those of you that are competing to do the social media app, this is the dark UI pattern that's been shared. We've got some...
Oh, that's why in the stream before everybody was using green. And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we've got some nice high contrast, some really good, I guess just like some complementary colors, but also this nice moss green and mint. And so this is the UI kit to use for the design exercise. And then we've got a list of names here that everybody's
should we look at some, or do you
provided
want to...
for us. Yeah, I can read some off. Let me know if anything definitely jumps out at you.
STEM.
We've got STEM, green thumbs.
You might be better than me to see if there is any really cool, like, pun or something.
Some fun puns.
Yeah, I love puns.
I like
by
Groot.
The way, yeah.
That's really cute. Huge Marvel fan.
Groot. See, you saw that.
I think I saw Sprout earlier. That was another one, but I know that that's actually a local food delivery.
Oh, is it? Oh, I think I've heard of it actually. Yeah. Oh, green.
Precious gifts.
Lifter.
We got Grow It.
Grow It.
Green Life. Sprouter sounds cool.
Actually, you know what? I had one idea, just one. It came out to my mind, and I purposely didn't want to say it because I was so sure someone was going to come up with it. And
it's that, yeah.
And I don't want to be biased, obviously. So I'm not going to say, but...
Now we have to hear it.
No. I want to see at the end of today. At the end of today, I will say it, but I want to see if anybody comes up with it because I think it's straightforward. I mean, I'm not that creative on names, so if I got there...
Okay.
But so...
we have an additional
challenge, which is guess which one I had thought about. Oh, we have...
So keep on sending us your questions if you have any more questions. We've got about another 15, 20 minutes before we pick the winner for the Adobe XD socks. To get these amazing socks, all you have to do is just send us a chat, say hi, be active, share a question, let us know where you're from. Cedar's another really good idea. Thanks, Simon.
Yeah.
We got Paul, who's chatting away over here.
You know what I saw?
Kathy.
I saw before a question that was like, "What is great about XD?" To you, like, what to you? You go first.
So I use XD at work, and I specifically used it a lot when I was working on mobile projects. And it was the quickest way for me to quickly provide mobile context to some. So we'll be going through designs, we'll be iterating on designs, and then I can basically button up a prototype really, really quickly, and then put it actually on the device.
Fun part, yeah.
And I mean, I think this was probably within a couple hours I was able to turn around prototypes from concept to reality, so that people could start actually playing and experiencing with the product. And that, to me, that was the biggest value add. There's a lot of other benefits. I think the repeat
great
grid
is
a really amazing feature, just being able to populate content and have that on your app. But yeah, the prototyping and being able to put it on a device was just awesome.
I think it's great for user testing because also I love the fact, and I started using that recently, that you can export a link. So technically you can access the link through, everywhere, but like with a mobile phone, right? With a mobile device. And you can actually try out the app like it was on your phone. So it's very good for user testing because you want to create this unbiased environment for the user, right? So I really like the repeat grid. Oh my God, yes.
Yep,
I used to use Photoshop and just recreating everything, and then when you change, no, this is really, it changed my life. So, I think we should wait to kind of look into the names.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start kind of doing...
I'm curious if anybody felt like designing a logo. Would love to see some logo ideas from those of you.
How do you submit a logo though? Like the same way you submit the challenge?
Yeah, I think.
Just in chat?
Yeah, they can just share it in the chat
nice.
link, and then we
Yeah.
can open it up.
Yeah.
We've definitely got some fans of the socks, Kelsey.
Yeah, every time we talk about the socks, it's like socks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. I saw before, you know what? When we were talking about unicorns, I saw a lot of people that actually say they are.
Who?
Which I thought they were called unicorns because they are very rare, but I guess, or they are all here.
I mean, unicorns are very rare.
Yeah, never seen one. I've never met an actual unicorn designer. Honestly.
I mean, when we think of, I guess, design unicorns or just unicorns in the industry, it just means that you're full stack and that you can kind of, I guess,
that's a nice way of calling it. I would like to
touch all the
to
main
be
components.
to be that, just be called a unicorn, to have like a nice sticker.
Yeah, that would be my emoji next to my name everywhere.
People will not know what that means.
Okay, so
anyway, let's start.
I just want to do a quick recap. So for everybody, just if you are just joining us, so Alice here has been walking us through a UX process, anywhere from kind of the iterative process of design all the way up into developing a persona. We're working on a Tinder for plants. Is that how I heard you describe it? It was something like if you were to if you're looking for a plant that you're able to enter in some personal data about you and maybe what your lifestyle is, and then through that you can get plant recommendations, and these plants can hopefully be plants that are in your home, not outside all the time, because those that tend to suffer through the winter. But
you know more.
What did I miss? Did I miss anything?
No, that's good. I think it's time to kind of start doing the wireframes. Maybe you're trying to remember everything that we talked about during the comparative analysis that we did on the two website and app. Okay, so.
Cuss is all about the socks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, someone is gonna be lucky today and actually.
Plant Cupid, getting some great ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So I would start, so I'm on the iPad Pro, and I'm gonna try to do the wireframes on Adobe Photoshop Sketch. I've seen, so I usually do them on, oh that's bad. I do them on just a piece of paper.
Could give you a little bit of room.
Oh, I'm sorry,
so
I'm just getting
your arm swing going. And while you were talking about the mobile screens, it was really great. You were talking about some UI elements. So you talked about the tab navigation, which is the bottom navigation.
Yes.
I think most of those, especially across the majority of apps, they all have similar functions and features. You generally find something for discovery. You generally find something for searching. There's aspects of personal profile that often live in these mobile experiences. And then you showed a component of segmented UI, which was where you can navigate between male or female or men and women style clothes. So those are really, really good, just known paradigms, things that exist on mobile products today that are really good ways for you to just navigate and kind of find and discover content.
Yeah, there are so many ways. I think now it's also a big thing to have a lot of content on the same screen, but make it very clear and accessible, but clear at the same time. You don't want to have too much, and that was always is always one challenge with design. Anything that you create, you don't want it to be too crowded. You really want the person to feel comfortable and not get overwhelmed, and that goes for anything you create, especially websites. But at the same time, you also want them, there is this rule that you cannot use more than, ideally you wouldn't use more than 3 clicks to get to your final destination on websites. So you have to find a balance between the two, right?
Yeah, and Diane asked a question about sketches prior to jumping into XD. I think, Diane, it really comes back to what you feel comfortable with. Yeah. We were talking about this actually prior to the show. Sketches are really good to help you get the ideas out of your head and onto a piece of paper or
so the fastest way for you is technically the best. I usually sketch. So I grew up drawing a lot. So for me, sketching is still the fastest way to do it. I do not own an iPad Pro, but I will very soon after this day. But I have, I think this is a good alternative actually, but I usually do paper. I just thought for today it's much more clear to see it on the screen, obviously. So I think it goes down to how many ways do you have to do? What do you think about wireframes directly on XD? Like just make everything like gray and make boxes.
Yeah.
Is it too constraining or?
No, I started something myself a couple weeks ago, just building some just outline boxes, and I found it really beneficial just to pull those shapes in XD and just to create what my idea is of a concept. The same thing I would do if I were sketching. I think the reason I started in XD was because I didn't have any paper or my sketchbook with me, so I just jumped right in XD. But the sketches end up becoming a really good reference, and they kind of help set constraints for you. Sometimes I find, at least personally, when I work in design tools, especially digital tools, is I can really dig into granular detail or minutia, and next thing I know, I'm like trying to figure out radiance tolerances or spacing.
True.
And I think that there is absolutely a time for that. But when you're trying to, I guess, think of a complete experience or think of a design from end to end, that generally comes at the end when you're probably about 80% done. And sketches are a really good reference point for you to come back to and say, oh, wait, okay, I got lost. Where was I again? What are the screens that I need to do? Okay, mental check, sanity check, and then you come back into the work. And so sketches are really great for that. We had another guest who had some really, really nice sketches, Picho, that joined us, I think, last month. And
Picho?
Yep, that's his name.
What was he creating?
He was working on a foosball table app for a large company for competitive foosballers. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So let me just update here. I've been sketching a little bit just. So I started with a splash screen, right? Splash screens usually have, it's like the first thing your user sees. So you really want to capture them, right? That's why most times you have cool interactions or you have like a really nice picture. There are many ways of doing it, honestly. I feel like for us, I would like to have a picture. I think the good thing about this app is that plants can be so, I want to say attractive, but there are just so many beautiful pictures of plants out there. So we can leverage that. So this would be the logo. We don't know what the logo is gonna be yet, but we will. So tomorrow maybe for now I'm just gonna kind of create a placeholder, but tomorrow we're gonna have it. Then maybe a picture. And so these are two options. And I think when you were a designer here, we were talking about first user experience, right?
Yeah.
So I think a splash screen can be a good way of educating your user. Like ideally, either you have, like you were saying, this kind of set of screens that you go through and kind of tell you how to use the app, or you can just educate also your user in this simple way by while everything is loaded or is loading in the background, you have like a picture and a sentence telling you what you can do with the app, or maybe a message, maybe a core message that you want to tell the audience, the things that the creators of the app care about, right? So that's what this screen is all about. So you can have a picture, the logo, and you can kind of say something here. Or you can just kind of go straight to the, you go straight to the login screen. And I've been thinking a long time if I wanted to have a login option for this, because I don't know, I feel like most times, unless you're gonna use it more than once, you hate just having to log in, right? So first of all, you have to make it very simple, very straightforward, but also, is it needed? I think you always have to think that, also because it requires so much more coding, obviously. And I thought, you know what? I want to have it because I feel like a returning customer might want to keep in his favorites some plants that he's gonna buy later, or maybe next month. It depends what kind of business you have and why do you want so many plants. But also you want to check old orders. So sometimes I log in as a guest to apps or websites and I buy something, and then I want to know when the package is gonna arrive. And well, generally you have like a confirmation email and you can do that, but it's nice to go log in and actually see everything there. They tell you your last order was on this day and you're gonna receive it this other time, right? So I still want to give the option, and but I do, as like here you can see I created 2 buttons because I feel like one is gonna be sign in, one is going to be login, and one is going to be like continue as a guest. So you kind of have all the options, right?
Yep.
And when you choose which one you prefer, so continue as a guest probably would take you directly to the home page, while login and sign in take you to this screen, which is you choose how to log in. And 2 things here. First of all, I don't know, you can do like email, I don't know, you can, wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Email, you can have Facebook, you can have probably Google, I don't know, no, not Google Plus, just Google, your Google account. I use that all the time, actually, my Google account. And I thought, why don't we introduce the biometrics that I was mentioning before? So you have like the ability to use your, if your phone obviously has the feature, you have the ability to log in with your fingerprint. So you can choose that too. And then you kind of say continue. You don't need to have the continue screen, I guess. Actually, you sorry, I'm like thinking out loud out here.
That's
so this button would take you back, actually, because I think it's also important to also give the user the ability to go back at any given time. Because sometimes you just get lost, you click on the wrong thing, and it's so annoying when you're just there and then you don't know how to say, no, I want to do something different, right? So here you would choose whatever you want. Maybe you choose the email, so then you have to log in, and then that's what this screen does. So you have to insert your email, name, password, probably. And again, and then you submit, or actually here you can, again, as we said, you can submit, or you can go back, right? You always have to give that option. So that is a very simple explanation of the onboarding that we're probably gonna do. Then when we get on our homepage, let's remember what we decided from the analysis that we did before. So we said that our homepage was going to have promotions and shortcuts.
So we got some questions. So just in regards to logo challenge, I think Gus was throwing down the gauntlet back there. He was saying we have to submit some.
Yeah, it's
some
becoming a real challenge.
Which is cool. So we haven't received any logo designs. Somebody did mention that it's also probably easier to design a logo if we pick a name. So
True.
I think that does make a lot of sense. It would definitely help to kind of constrain just a little bit of the thoughts and ideas.
Do you want to choose now? Okay,
we've got a lot of ideas
okay.
here. And then it's almost time to give away a pair of Adobe socks.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me see.
So I've got a list of most of the names, I think, that were submitted on here. Quite a bit, as you can see. So thank you, everybody that's been contributing. Ibrahim, thanks. Alice has been doing some awesome sketches over here, taking us just through the onboarding, sign-on, sign-up flow.
I mean, I kind of like, how do you pronounce it? Planter?
Planter?
It's nice because we said the Tinder of plants.
Yeah.
I also like how simple, because obviously I'm thinking STEM, it's gonna look very nice. Obviously it's a nice, strong word. Then again, this is not my first language, right? So I think my impression about words, it's completely different from what it would sound like to our users, since I guess this is gonna be in English.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I think that's important too, is to try to think about just the localization of words and what applies to people. There's some really good examples. I don't think we have the time to do that right now.
Yeah. So what was your favorite? Did you like one specifically?
let's see. I like Greenlee. Some ones that made me chuckle. Bud Buddies. Sounds funny. It
Where's
doesn't
that?
really. That one's down at the bottom.
Bud Buddies.
I guess they're thinking about the bud of the plant. Like
Thank you,
the
Sam. I
flower.
didn't know that. That's nice because I was saying green buddy, like be matched with your green buddy before. I was like
green
on my
buddy?
presentation. So
Yeah.
that's nice. So
Green
actually,
buddy.
Bud Buddy is nice.
And then we have Plant Gifter. Got some good play on words. We've got Bloom. That's a product that's already out here. They deliver flowers in San Francisco.
So
Dig it. That's kind of cool.
That's nice. Actually, I like it because we were saying about using this humorous kind of communication.
Yeah, good play on words.
I dig it.
All right. So do you have a favorite? Do you want to pick one?
Oh, okay. I kind of like dig it, actually. Yeah.
Go with dig
Also,
it.
yeah. Also because we're selling potted plants, right? So it kind of makes sense, I guess. Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dig it. Sounds
You
good.
you
I
like
dig
it?
Yeah.
No way. Which one do you like the best? I mean, I
No,
kind
this
of
is
like
great.
the.
I think
didn't
it
really get
makes a
to
lot
the
of
chance to-
sense.
yeah.
I think dig it is. I think it's cool. I think having seen some of the IX writing that you did in the app, I think you hinted at a good play on words is a lot of fun. So I think dig it is fun.
Thank you, Luis.
It may already be out
Luis
there.
spelled like
That's
that.
cool. We can find a way to definitely
Cool, dig
make
it.
a riff on it.
Oh, you can actually spell it like that too.
Do we know
Dig
who
it,
actually
yes.
submitted dig it?
Do we know who submitted dig it? Okay, never mind.
First one to raise their hand. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, everybody's gonna say it was me. It was me. Okay. Actually, I think I can now say the one that I had
Sure.
thought about.
Yeah. What was your idea?
Plant-based.
Plant-based.
Which it's not. That's why it's not like, oh my god, that's a beautiful idea. But I thought, oh, that's cool. Like love for plants and like plant-based. Okay,
No, that's
nice.
awesome.
But it was not that great. So I thought, you know what, someone else is gonna have a better day.
And then I think
so dig it. Okay.
I think you're going to do a little bit more sketching on the home screen. I wanted to demo a few of the submissions that we've already gotten for the challenge and click over to some examples that we have there. I guess if we can't find the owner of Dig It, we still have to pick a winner. So who are we going to pick? I was thinking Surya.
Oh, Thess
Surya?
asks if it's spelled dig it or dig it altogether. Wait, dig it altogether, is that a word?
It was 2 words.
No, but does it mean anything when it's all together with the 2 G's?
Maybe slang. I don't know.
Wait, is it a Pokemon? Was it a Pokemon?
No,
Did you watch
that's Dig Dug.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
there's a
you know
Dig It.
stuff. Okay.
Say it again.
Diglett.
Diglett's
Yes.
another one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was going to pick Surya as the winner for the Adobe socks.
Yes.
If that's cool. As our random selector. Oh, you did it. Oh, man. So he's not the winner. You know what? I'm just going to hang out over here. Oh, so you're going to pick the random winner. That's right. I'm new here. My name's Mark.
With the C.
This is my first time.
Please know about that.
Has he won? Okay. I was just liking the activity. Okay. So that was just a test, just to see if you guys were listening. We're actually gonna pick a random person. I actually don't have that power. I can't select. I think I'd probably give all these socks away if that were my power. So, but I can't do that. So we're gonna let Gus decide.
Okay.
I still want to demo some of the examples.
Do we
We've
have
got
some
really good
submissions
challenges.
for?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, I want to see that.
We have some good submissions.
This is actually the part that I was mostly excited about.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
it's incredible actually. So everybody that's able to submit designs in the time that we have, it's pretty amazing just to see how quickly everybody can have a turnaround. The UI kits definitely help out a bunch.
Okay. So,
You're sketching away.
yeah, I just want to. Oh, okay.
So I hope there's some new people joining us, and if you have, we've got Alice Scalfi here,
Yes.
who's from
Nice
Italia.
pronunciation. Nice pronunciation.
And she's working on a product experience for plant pairing. So if you're Interested
Unless,
in having
like,
some home
yeah.
plants?
Yeah.
This is the app for you. Hey, Mitch.
And
Good to see you again.
Most likely you're not gonna kill them, because that's my problem, as I mentioned before. Then, actually, I think I might need. Okay.
Patrick, thanks for joining us. Hi, Tess. We got some great sketches going on over here.
Okay. So I'm trying to go. First of all, I'm trying to do it very quickly. I think when you work on UX, one of the things that you learn at the very beginning is that you have to get out all the ideas that you have and fail fast, right? That's one of the main things that you learn. So I'm trying to do everything very quickly, and well, if I change my mind, I kind of go back and reassess, but you want to just get it out, right? So what I have been doing so far, so I did the homepage here. Maybe let me change the color here. So, wait.
And you're sketching on, I think this was another question that was asked earlier, but we're sketching on Photoshop Sketch on the iPad Pro.
Nice color. Yeah, so I've been doing the homepage here. So what I thought, I remember what we said, we wanted to promote, promote and have shortcuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that we wanted to promote was this feature that you get matched with plans. So with the plans that, let's say, works best for you, and we're gonna kind of look more into it later. So I thought, why not have some kind of like a, I don't know how it's gonna look like, if it's gonna be like a full picture or some kind of graphic, and you want to kind of say, oh, you don't know what to get, do this questionnaire and we're going to tell you what's best for you, right? And then down here we have kind of what we said was going to be the shortcuts and other promotions. So we said that we liked the bestsellers and the occasions. So it's going to be like, look at the plants that are perfect for Father's Day or Mother's Day, and which we said it was good for this time of the year. And also bestsellers, just because if you want to go there to buy something fast and you're pretty sure, you want to be pretty sure about what you're getting, right? I also thought, do we want ratings on the plans? Like, you really like it, so you go back and say, this is very nice. Maybe, it's a nice vase, because obviously they're going to come in like, not personalized.
So you'd be rating the plant that you get?
I wonder, because I've seen that happening a lot of times, but at the same time, I'm like, then you get also matched with a plant, and I don't know. I don't want it to go against each other. So it was just, it's a thought that I don't know if it's crucial to have it or not. It's one of the decisions that I'm still taking.
Yeah. Definitely one of the things we can explore. It makes sense, especially when you were talking about the clothing app and how they kind of surface related content based off of your previous purchases.
Yeah, I think
the
it's
only
more,
way you could aggregate that information is by some user data, some input data. We definitely have to select our winner for the socks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sorry.
Are you ready for the unveiling?
Yes.
Do you know who it is?
Is it Benedict Jensen?
It is.
Yeah.
Benedicta Jensen. You won our
Jensen.
Socks.
Sorry.
You won our socks, so thank you so much. It was totally random selection. I had nothing to do with it. I tried earlier, and they stopped me. So thank you so much for being active in the chat. And this exact pair is going to get sent to your doorstep right here.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Benedetta. I think that's, yep, maybe. We'll see.
I like the last name, Jensen. Anyway, sorry, I was talking.
Benedicta, no? But thanks.
Yeah,
we said it wrong. It's fine.
We're going to call you Benedetta because here everything is being Italianized. So. Okay.
And there you have it.
Okay, so congratulations.
Awesome. So we're with Alice. We're working in Adobe XD. We're prototyping a plant pairing product.
Yeah. It's
for you.
That is becoming like the main thing about the it's gonna be like a general e-commerce, but I think that's the feature that most people are gonna use, right?
No, I think it's a great idea.
So now I was talking about the homepage and what we wanted there. So we said we wanted to promote this feature that you get matched, and also we want to give our bestsellers and occasions. And I thought about using, I don't know if it's clear here, but you use the kind of you know, on the Apple Store that you have like this sequence of things and you can kind of swipe left, right? So you can have that, but you obviously want to access that and see more and have more details. So I thought it could look like this screen. So you can always go back. So remember that you always have to give the option to kind of take a step back. You can have the name of the category. It could be occasions. It could be, well, like Mother's Day plans. And later on we'll see, I guess, also the other kind of categories of plans. And I thought it would be nice to keep this kind of left scrolling, but to make it bigger, to make it just give more details about the app. So you have, and I thought it would be nice to have like these kind of, how do you call it? Like
a card?
Yeah, a card, right? And I was thinking we need to have like the picture of the plant, so it might be there, it might kind of move, like not be completely on the card, but being half on and half out.
Yeah.
That would be kind of a nice, because I don't know, well, you must have noticed like right now it's one of the trends is also to have like dropped shadows and make everything like be semi 3D, right? Then we're gonna have and we have to talk about this, right? The name,
Leo, we did choose a name. It's Digit.
Yes.
And then for Lance, I can't think of any restrictions for the logo. Maybe 2-color, I guess, just to start. I think that would probably be helpful.
Yeah.
We haven't picked a color for the app yet, but maybe if everybody was just using black and white, that would be really, really valuable. And then we can just change the color.
Yeah,
change
that'd
the
be
color
nice
later
actually.
on.
Yeah.
So Victor, the name is Digit.
Okay.
And we definitely need to get some more submissions in. I'm really curious to see what everybody's thinking about for the social media challenge. I think the requirements were three screens, and then we provided a dark UI template for everyone to use. So really looking forward to seeing those.
I think that's actually pretty hard because we have social media for everything, right? So to create something very innovative, you really need to be, I think, to have a good idea. So I really want to see what you guys come up. His name is Mark. Okay, they're talking about you. Mark Friesen.
Yep.
Mark with a C.
It's good to be back. Sandia?
How many times have you been here?
I think this is my 4th time on Adobe Live, 2nd time hosting, and then I've been I've been in the very seat that you sat in.
Yeah.
Doing exactly that, which was a lot of fun.
Look at that. Okay, should I keep going with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do want to take a look at what everybody's submitted for challenges, so please make sure to get in your submissions. We definitely already passed out our socks, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then for those of you that are competing in the challenge, you're going to win a free year of Adobe Cloud subscription, which is incredible.
Somebody actually remembers the app that you created about mindfulness.
Yeah, that was Paul and I. Those were the days. Good times.
So I was trying to draw a list of things that we want to be there. So in the card, so we have the name of the plant, we have the price, a description. I was thinking the description should be this kind of fun description, like we were talking about, more of a person than a plant, because it's kind of part of what we are trying to do, right? To match a person with a plant. And then the add to cart option, and also the heart, obviously. And that is kind of, I feel like this that I just explained is going to be a good template for the app itself, because everything is just going to be very similar to this kind of interaction with the swiping left and getting into the carts. So following that, I was actually creating the search screen. So actually, I want the color back. A little bit here. So I was creating a search screen. So I thought about having categories. As I said, I have drawn a list of categories because I don't know that much about plants, but I have a few, and I feel like a nice thing that I added at the end that I was like, oh, it would be nice to have herbs too. Herbs, like whatever.
Spices.
Yes. So I don't know if you call them spices.
Spices, herbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like basil, or I think they're very cute. Like I don't know why we don't really consider them like plants for just beauty, like in the kitchen. So we're gonna have few categories, and you can either like scroll like on the left or like scroll down and see all the categories. So you have this double interaction, and when you like let's say you click on this one, it's gonna take you to a screen similar to this. So it's gonna be a card, and you kind of can see more in detail things.
Cool.
I feel like I don't have space anymore. Can I create a new?
Yeah. I'd love to go through a couple of the submissions if that's cool.
Yeah,
Let me pull up. I got
Want to see it?
I think this was from Patrick. And Patrick, I think you submitted this in our first segment. We've got a couple screens here. So I think this one's called Barco. Also, pro tip for those of you that are submitting these, it's really awesome. Miguel did it later on, but it's really awesome to see your name actually in the naming of the file, because it definitely helps to make sure that we can just talk to at least who's submitted the idea. So this is Barco. Sold dogs forever, bark, howl, say hello. Meet a lover sounds kind of weird. In fact, maybe it's for pet pairing. I'm not sure.
Bark it, yeah.
We've got another example. This one's called Feed.
Okay.
So it looks like a discovery screen. Got some video. Looking for some matching.
Oh, that's nice. So it kind of leverages.
Nice full bleed image.
Yeah.
And we've got Train Spotter. Really like the 3 colors here.
Yeah.
Share your places, sign up, log in. So I'm guessing Thomas submitted this one. Thanks for hiding your name in there. Some small interactions for login. Cool. Really nice job showing the error password.
Yeah.
And then got a nice profile view. And then Miguel Avila.
Nice gradient.
Awesome. Yeah, really nice use of gradient, full bleed image. And we're looking at, this looks like another discovery feed, kind of what you were saying along the lines of cards.
And you get in, and yes.
Yeah, so we got like a detail view. I guess we tap into the view. And then back to sign up. Cool. Nice. 3 screens. Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. So we're looking forward to more submissions.
Yeah. And we said someone's going to win socks out of this?
No, so socks were given away for those of you that were in the chat. This is the free Adobe Cloud.
This is the free Adobe. Wow. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, big deal. So now I think we have left just on the kind of favorite screen, and it's going to probably look a lot like, right? Okay. So the favorite screen is probably gonna look a lot like what we showed before, the card, and probably you're gonna have, wait, let me just recreate it real quick. You're gonna have the heart, and the heart is gonna be selected at this point, and then you're gonna have the ability to actually delete it. So let's say you just added it as a mistake and you want to take it out, you can do it again, going back to I like that. Going back to what we were saying before about just consider the fact that your user might make a mistake and wants to go back, right? And then here it's gonna say add to cart, right? And what I thought is that because these are plants, right? These are not flowers. When you add to cart, I was thinking about what kind of information the app wants you to provide. So most likely, it's gonna ask you probably the quantity, not yet where it gets delivered, not yet any other information, but you probably want to know the quantity so that when you go to cart, you have everything that has been set up already. So probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, and you have probably choice, I'm not sure, and then you can add to cart. Then we're gonna look at it better later probably. Then cart is gonna look very similar again. You have your carts of the things that you added, and I think a difference here is that you have your bar, navigation bar, and then you have, this is a bit, sorry, I need to redesign it. It's not clear. Okay, so you have your navigation bar and you have your card, right? And you can always take it out, right? But here, instead of having an option here, right, like we had so far, because you might have multiple items, so you want to do that like a overall checkout. So the option is gonna be down here probably, and it takes you to checkout, and probably you're gonna have like how do you say, summary with total, and then you have to start inserting your informations like address, and then payment method, and blah blah blah, and it's gonna be down here. And to do the checkout, actually we're probably gonna use the UI kits.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a nice checkout form that you can use. Actually, there are different ones. I might use that. Now I got stuck again. For the profile is gonna be slightly different, right? So, because we said the profile is gonna have your previous orders, and also it's gonna have, I would assume, if you have been matched with a plant, it's gonna be there forever, telling you, by the way, you were matched with this plant. Do you want to do the questionnaire again, or do you want to buy the plant maybe for yourself? So I think it's a good place where to remind it. So we're probably gonna have a similar screen to the one that we had before that I designed it about having it up here. And then you're gonna have previous orders, and because consistency is very important for brands, everything like, so I'm gonna just again reuse the same kind of style as before. So you're gonna have probably, this is gonna say the order number or date, probably the number, and then you're gonna have all the things that you bought here, and you have probably a list of different ones, right? And I think I'm done. I mean, it's very messy. Yes. No, meaning that it's a good overview, and I feel like the screens are gonna be more, and they're gonna be different as soon as we jump into the UI. But this is a good overview.
Okay. Awesome. So what's next for us?
So I think now it's time to get into
XD.
Finally.
Awesome.
How has it been? We don't have much time, but yes, we're gonna try, and then we're gonna finish tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be completely on XD. So I hope many of you are gonna be there tomorrow. That's gonna be the fun part. I mean, this is what you need to do, and actually enjoy it very much.
Yeah,
I was always a very rational designer, so I love doing this.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the process, and it's good to see someone else walk through that part of the process. I think
Yeah,
with
I feel
sketching,
like everybody does it differently too.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely. And with sketching, it's also good just to see how you sketch and how you approach and how you think about things. It was really nice to hear you articulate what's going through your mind as you're thinking about the interactions.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that is implied here in the sketches through your arrows and kind of directional conversations, but once we actually start getting into the prototypes, that's where it's gonna definitely sing. We have,
and I love to see whenever, obviously I think mine was very messy, but most times there are designers that actually do it very properly, and everything is very neat and it looks so good. I love seeing that. It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Okay.
Anshul,
So
thanks for joining us.
Okay. So
also just to let you guys know, we have 2 more guests, I think, joining us for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
We have Lex coming up. Hopefully we can share just the overall rest of the itinerary of what's coming up today. But thank you for tuning in with us with Alice Scalfi. And
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we're working in Adobe XD. We've got a few more people joining us afterwards. We've got Lex and Daniel. So make sure you stick around for them. If it's late for you, thank you for definitely hanging out with us wherever you are. But I know that there's definitely some later time zones going on right now.
Yeah, and if you were late today, first of all, it's going to be on YouTube. And then obviously you're going to see other designers today. You can enjoy that. Or you can come tomorrow at the same time, 11. Well, 11 here. Then you can see the schedule on Behance schedule for the streams,
Behance
right?
Live.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I'd love to try to. I know we've got some logo submissions. I need to find that file real quick.
Yeah.
And you're going to pop into XD, and I know you've got some things
Yeah,
started.
I actually
You
wanted
pulled
to
some
talk
assets
about
together.
the update for Adobe XD. Can I
Great.
do that very
Yeah.
fast? So this morning was released a new version of XD, and there are new features that that have been introduced. And one of them is if you have been working on Photoshop. Now you can actually import a Photoshop file and keep all the layers, and they're gonna translate into the same settings. So Gaussian blur, is that how you pronounce it?
Gaussian blur. maybe?
Gaussian blur.
I'm sure there's all kinds of ways.
It's translated, I think. Also shapes get translated. So I wanted to show that to you real quick. So we're on my computer. By the way, did you see Italy in the back? So you go on this initial screen and you do open, and you go pick up your PSD file. You open it. It might take a little bit to translate everything. Also, especially if you were using artboards and there were like multiple, then it might take a while.
Yeah.
But now you can see it's ready for editing. If you click, if you click to the artboard, you now can see all the different things that part is. So you can see this shape. I had two shapes. This was a picture. Here I created a shape, and again you can control the fill and not fill, and also the text was translated completely. So, and also the thickness of the shape. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it pulls in all the vector.
I think it's very useful for just transition. I was working on Photoshop before moving to XD, so I think it is going to be useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, and for those of you that still use Photoshop today for kind of web or large format web development, it's really great just to kind of be able to pull in that artwork and to just have it kind of work so seamlessly.
Yeah.
I was going to click through just a couple examples real quick. So we have a leaf logo for Digit that was submitted, and then we have another logo that was submitted. This is really nice. Very clean, very simple.
Yeah, I like how they
It looks kind of like an Avenir style sans serif font. So when I was looking at the G, it almost looks like the bottom of a pot, and I almost wanted to see some two little leaves or something.
Like a leaf instead of the dot on top of the eye.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element for a little bit of kind of fun.
I like
fun
it though. I
play
like
there.
the typeface. It's very clean.
So what do you think? You think this is good enough to move forward with?
Yeah, actually, okay. I really like
Awesome.
this. Can we add that leaf?
I can.
Can we manipulate?
I mean, I'll leave it up to the designer to
some
see if they
images.
want to add a leaf in there to replace the dot above the eye. And then I've got
thank
some
you for
vector
submitting
too.
it. That's very nice. I
Yeah,
like it.
really nice job.
Nice. So. Okay.
Yeah, got some cool submissions.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see. Thank you for doing that, guys. We did a lot. Like we got the name done. We got this. The name came up so quickly too. Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Alicia, you're in Adobe XD now. You've just imported a file.
Yeah. So, yes.
We've got to select a winner here
Yes.
for the submissions pretty soon. I'm going to take a couple minutes and see if I can open up some more of the challenges.
Well, actually, I want to create. So I have. Okay. I have cheated a little. No, meaning that I have created the first couple of screens. So just the splash screen. You can see it here. Just to have a start, and I chose this color. I guess we can change it, even if it's very similar to that. I feel like, right, to the one of the logo. We were looking at that. And so here you see this nice black. The logo is gonna go here where the black rectangle is. So tomorrow you're gonna see it again. So it's gonna be like that. So for what it concerns the pictures, I got them from Adobe Stock. So you can access Adobe Stock here. You go to Stock and you just look for photo lens. And it takes you there and you can easily download them. And what I did is I chose these ones that have like a nice white background, because it's very easy on Photoshop to just get rid of it and make it a nice PNG with a see-through background. And I also created a shadow here on XD, which is nice because it's actually projecting the shadow of just what's visible, right? And I just created, and you can change the shadow. It can be like 20, and obviously it's more projected to the right. There are a lot of things that you can do. And then, as I was mentioning in the wireframes, I created sign up, log in, and continue as a guest. And then you have the options that I was talking about, the ability to go back, and here when you click, does this, and then it takes you to kind of this screen. And I don't know if you noticed, but here the plant goes up to give space to the form. So that would be also a nice interaction if it moves very smoothly and it goes on top of the logo. I think it's gonna be a nice interaction. Actually, I mentioned that the last day I'm gonna do probably I'm gonna animate an interaction, and I'm still thinking about which one. If you guys have preferences, just write them in the chat. But I might also do the splash screen and kind of the loading of the screen. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. We have the submissions.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've pulled up a few of the submissions here. We have Miguel Avila, which I think we already
that
showed.
one we were seeing before, right? Yeah.
So here's Miguel's again. This was really nice. You kind of being able to see the content cards and then click in and see some of the more detailed views. We have another submission here. This is
Nice, keeping up the
So
black.
this one's utilizing the dark UI,
Yeah.
dark image. Looks like they're using the formatting that was provided, which is really nice. Looks like there's some tags down here.
Nice.
And then another kind of discovery, which has the image carousel that you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier in some of
Image
your
carousel.
sketches.
Nice.
And then we've got Picshare.
Nice. I like the logo.
It's
You
nice.
designed the logo in like 3 hours. That's nice.
It's
Takes so long for me to design logos. Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's really
Nice. I like the
Let's see.
pictures. Very neat.
awesome. So hopefully that's a little bit more visible, I guess, for everybody. So we got Picshare by Christina. Looks like you can toggle.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Awesome.
Night
Very
mode,
cool.
and that's
Yeah.
nice.
Dark UI. Got some. Yeah, some of the content kind of jumps around a little bit,
Almost.
but really nice. Nice idea using the toggle UI. And then we have.
Oh, what we were talking about.
Thank you for downloading the app. Go ahead. This looks like login, sign up. Cool. So family.
The color
friends.
coding. Nice. That's my
Interesting.
face. And Paul.
Paul's in there.
You can find. Oh my god.
This is nice. We have like 4 or 5 screens in here.
Yeah.
And then another submission by Lindsay.
Like the type. I mean.
Lindsay's a regular on the show.
Oh, it's she.
Love seeing her work and her submissions. So thanks for joining us again.
Nice.
Sign up form. I'm seeing a lot of "Let's go" as the call to action. Nice play on words. This looks like an app for discovering graffiti. Nice profile.
Oh, I like that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let's take a couple minutes. We'll review these, and then we'll definitely have Alice pick a winner.
Oh wow. Okay.
So no
So-
pressure.
So, you have to choose now. Go through them.
Are you ready?
Well, let's go through them real quick.
Sure.
Um,
So we have a Miguel Avilas.
that one I remember. Yeah.
I think the only thing about this one is that it would have been really nice just to see the dark UI. So just for next time, Miguel, just try to look at the challenge rules and just the constraints. We provided the dark UI kit, so maybe you used components of it here. At least for me, my expectation was to see
Yeah, the
darker
yeah.
UI.
And I think, so next screen. I think another thing to remember is what I was talking about before, to be able to go back. So getting to this screen, you have, I believe, now, is this you clicked before and you access this, you have to be able to go back. So maybe be mindful of the navigation also backwards, right?
Yep, really good feedback.
Yeah, and nice.
Okay, we've got another submission here. I really thought this one was fun
I
to look at.
like the introduction of like the trends, like the gradients and the carousel images and.
Yeah, they're using a lot of different UI elements. They kind of have meta cards with labels, and then they have the carousel for navigating, which is really cool. And then Picture, which has the toggle UI.
So this is nice because you can say, oh, you know, it's very clean with the white, but you have the night mode, and that's a good way of using the dark UI kit that we provided, right? As a dark mode, you're giving a reason for it to be there, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about placement of that? Do you think that that's an area where you would find that type of feature?
Well, usually I've seen it in settings. Like you get into settings and you can choose to have dark, like night mode, because here it's very prominent and you're going to use that once, right? To decide which one you prefer. So it's a little bit too always there. I don't know how to explain it, right?
Maybe?
Yeah, too persistent, yeah.
And I think that real estate's often used for navigation, for titling, for header titles.
Yes.
So a couple concerns just on the placement of it. She's asking me to go down. We've got the tab bar. So it looks like it's a pull down that you would kind of get exposed to that and then go into the profile.
Oh, okay. So then actually that makes sense. Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Alrighty. So what are your thoughts?
Ooh, can I see the last one again? Sorry.
This one?
Another one before?
And
sorry.
this one is Graphinder.
Okay.
Lindsay's the regular.
I kind of like... Wait, how many times has Lindsay won?
Has Lindsay won before? I think Lindsay has won. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So let's try to give somebody else a chance.
Sorry, Lindsay. It's nice, though. So we have to appreciate who actually used this dark, kit.
Okay.
And so that one, click. I think this is very nice. It's using, it's very clear. Also, the navigation has a navigation bar at the very bottom. Maybe, let me see. What does it say? Maybe, I assume that's a placeholder. He didn't make the icons, but that's going to be icons, maybe, right?
Yeah, there's some interactions.
So, I like it. And you can go back, and I don't know who made this. Is it
I think this is Mayur.
Okay.
That might be the name.
Okay.
We can double check before we announce the winner. But is this your pick?
Fine. I think so. I kind of like, and also the effort into when you create the connections, it goes up or it goes left rather than. I like it.
Awesome. Do you have any feedback in regards to maybe what you think would help improve
in general,
the experience?
The gray text. Like from here, I can't unfortunately read the gray text on black. I think you always have to make sure that you have good contrast. And maybe making sure that you give enough space for the text. So this, so they're squares, right? And she or he is making sure that where you have the text on the gradient, the green one, it's just one line. But what if? But that's actually that's the name of somebody. So I guess it could be on one line. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think for me, when I look at this, I like the fact that you're working within the constraints of the dark UI. There's some accessibility concerns. So accessibility is mainly around the contrast levels of the text. On these screens particular, I know it can get harder when you're sharing. But you definitely want to double check the accessibility standards and make sure that all the text and font is legible, as well as the colors are legible. So the areas where I'm struggling to read the text right now are probably in the tab navigation, so in the bottom, and then in the top. But really nice job, Mayur, and thank you for submitting your design. So Alice picked you as the winner, which means you get a free subscription to Adobe CC for a year.
It's pretty cool.
So awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we did some sketching today.
Yeah.
You did a really, really nice intro covering just basic UX principles and covering
and at
what
the end
part of
I'm
the
gonna
process
share
looks like.
the link so everybody's gonna have access to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's gonna happen the last day. So last day everybody's gonna have access to all of this. Can I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Okay, good.
And then you took us through some sketches on Photoshop Sketch on the iPad Pro. And then now we're over into Adobe XD.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have a couple screens that you were kind of walking us through previously.
Yes.
So what do you think? What do you think's next? I mean, what's going to be your approach over the next couple days? What are some things that we can look forward to?
As I said, tomorrow we're gonna work mainly on the UI. So we're gonna start from this, and we're gonna build as much as we can. I really want to get into the details of everything. So if we don't finish it, that's fine, but I will try to start with the main ones so that at least we have that done, the ones that at least I sketched here. And maybe we're gonna start with the questionnaire to get matched. It seems like it is the biggest feature, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would love is for the chat tomorrow maybe to think about what kind of questions should be asked. And what kind of communication? We said it was going to be humorous, and what kind of questions should you ask your user to actually achieve the goal of matching them with a plant, right? So maybe tomorrow we're going to also get some input on that too, right? And I thought it would be nice to take inspiration from Tinder as well, to have a part we're going to have a part which is questions and another part which is going to be more visual. So you can choose between two pictures and you choose the best one. And
yeah, that sounds a lot of fun. Like, it'd be really interesting to see some plant profile, and it's like, oh, I really like the indoors. I only need water regularly, and like how the plant would kind of describe their needs. Yeah. That would be kind of that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also, if you're still submitting challenge submissions with us, your submissions will carry over into the next segment. Lex will be able to review them. We'll definitely make sure that everybody gets visibility into their projects and ideas. And just thanks for contributing. I said, it's still really awesome just to see how quickly people can kind of turn around some submissions. If you guys have any questions for myself or Alice, please just ping them in the conversation. We spent some time. Big portion of time sketching, which was really cool. So I feel like we have a lot to cover. And
I would like to know how other designers do that. I think it's very interesting to just compare methods, and that's what's great about this, right? I show mine, the next person comes in, and they have a completely different method, and whichever works for you. Yeah, I think. Right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of diversity in just how people approach ideas, and also just the ideas in themselves. I think, which is really, really cool.
Okay.
And you have so you're on the login screens. This is what you. Yeah. This is where we are today. And have you started putting any of these together in a prototype?
No, actually,
no. They're not connected yet.
No, but I can show how to connect them right now.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting just because. So we have probably about another 10.
Oh, okay, nice. I was not
sure how much time. We definitely have some time.
Oh, actually, let me see. So I did create them, right? So let me see. So here I did connect sign up. So we have the sign up just set up, right? We don't have the login, which is gonna look similar probably. So if you click sign up, it goes here. Let me check just that they are functioning. Good. So actually, do you want to see how it looks like?
And when you're prototyping, these blue arrows that kind of signify the navigation points or the clickable areas.
Yeah. So here you can just simply let's click on the black button, and then you can just drag it, right? You can drag it to this one, whichever is the one, and then you have the screen where you can choose what kind of interaction it's gonna have. Be slide left, slide right. I chose left because I kind of want it to be horizontal, and then it's gonna be vertical when you actually go to the home screen, right? You can choose how long it takes, and then kind of is out, is in. So to create it, to make it a little bit more smooth. And like here, which is different because I wanted to show when you click on the icon of the email, how it's gonna react. So here I have, for example, no transition. because I just want it to appear as when you click it, right?
Right.
So let me show you what I mean. So you have it here. Well, I'm gonna make it.
And this is, I think this is what we talked about. Like this is the magic of XD, right?
Yeah.
This is where.
Yeah, that's where it can be. It's a very, very detailed prototype. So it's very good, I think, when you talk to a client to just portray, show them what your vision was. It's so easy. I mean, it doesn't take coding. It's just you connect things and that's there, and they can access it with their device because of the link. I think it's great. So you click on sign up, goes left. Here, obviously here when you click on it, it should take you to the login option directly. I just wanted to show the reaction, so I have to click twice.
State.
Yeah. And here you have like your name, email, password, confirm password, and you can, as I said, you can always go back. Even here you can go back, right? Or you can submit, and it takes you to the homepage. And I have designed the navigation bar here.
The icons, cool.
So we already have them, and when they are selected, you're gonna see them in this nice green. I mean, we can change the color, but I kind of liked it when I created it, right?
David was asking, so what comes after the prototype? So
there is a lot of tweaking, I believe. Like you cannot just create a prototype and be like, hey, done. You have to show it to your users. You have to show it to your client. There are a lot of stages. You have to do a lot of user testing. So most likely you're gonna show the app, and you're gonna give tasks. So in user testing, you give tasks to a user, and he's gonna try to achieve them in the app without your help. And when he gets stuck or he feels like it doesn't work, he's gonna let you know about it, and that's a good feedback for changing the app later, right? And then, well, you might know better about. Let's say you're completely done with your project and you have it done. What is the best way of giving this to the developer?
Yeah, so I mean, Adobe XD has an export feature, which so generally once you hit prototyping, which is a really good way to, as you mentioned, kind of convey the vision. It's really good to get that prototype and put it in front of customers.
Yeah.
And when you're putting it in front of customers, whether it be a contextual inquiry, and you're actually sitting down and just putting the device in front of them and saying, okay, you just found this app that is for plant pairing. One of your friends told you about it. What do you do? And that's literally the amount of guidance that you want to give at that point in time, to just allow he or she, whoever's testing it, to make sure that they don't go into it with any bias or any informed information. And so once you've gathered feedback, once you've actually seen a customer or user go through the experience, that's where you're going to iterate on the design, make improvements. I think when it comes to sharing with the developer, as opposed to just putting files and assets together and just kind of saying, hey, this is the thing, I honestly think the best thing you can do is to get the people in the room that are going to be building it, and to say, have a little bit of level setting or framing, and say, look, this is the project that we're all excited about. These are the people that are going to be working on it. Our goal was to create a fun user experience for plant pairing, and what we'd like to do is go through a couple prototypes and show you what the product looks like, and interrupt us if you have any questions, so on and so forth. And then at that point, you just kind of display and share the prototype. Engineers, people will have questions. They'll want to know what your thoughts are, especially about sign in and sign up. And then after that, hopefully you have a better context of, who's going to build it, how long it's probably going to take, where they're going to start, and you'll definitely have some requirements at that point to provide design assets, which you can do through XD. You can actually export everything.
Actually, now you can export like way.
It'll pull out everything from the artboard. It'll pull out vector. It'll separate everything. We can probably get into more detail about that tomorrow. And then from there, once assets and everything are provided, it's just important to then follow up with your developer, make sure you answer their questions, and just be there to kind of respond and help them through the process.
And you probably also had before this conversation with the developer just to make sure that what you were creating was doable, I guess. But at that point, you're going to have a more in-depth conversation about, okay, this is what we are going to do, how we're going to do it, the timing of it. then kind of. Oh, we have more logos.
Yeah, I was just Lindsay submitted another logo design, so we have
Thank you,
another
Lindsay.
example here.
It's like,
It's really fun. The it's kind of like a
like the
a
pot
gestured
and then,
sunflower. This is the pot. Yeah, it'd be really cool if the corner radiuses could have a little bit more of the kind of the same
Yes.
nature that you're
Yeah.
using in the font from for the graph finder that you chose it. So yeah, that'd be awesome to see an iteration on it, Lindsay. Thank you for submitting.
Yeah. Kind of try to make it the same style. So have these round edges and then maybe the same thickness of stroke for also the flower, maybe.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. Obviously, you have to try it, see if it works
Yeah,
and
and
how it looks like, right?
Lindsay's responding really well to the feedback.
Hey.
So thanks for just being positive and being open to it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really
Thank you for
cool.
submitting. I wonder how. I'm always envious of people that actually can make logos so fast. I'm not
Yeah.
that fast with logos.
Yeah,
Very nice.
it's pretty incredible. I think some people have superpowers that they can
Yes,
just
right?
they have it in their head and they can just
Yeah.
kind of put it together really, really quickly. Hey, Raphael, thanks for joining us. So what can we expect to do tomorrow? What do you think next steps are for you?
So tomorrow, just maybe I should just show this so that we can kind of. So as I said, today we did define the goals, create wireframes. We didn't really go visual. We didn't have time for that. But we chose the name. We have a logo. So I think that's a good start for tomorrow.
Mhm.
And tomorrow we're going to do mostly UI design. We're going to talk more about the wireframes that we created today and kind of how they transfer from the initial raw idea to an actual visual, because they are probably going to change as well, right? They're going to look slightly different, and we are going to define the style guides for the colors and just what everything is going to look like. We're going to include the brand, and that's going to probably take most of the day. I want to answer a lot of questions tomorrow. Today I had to focus here, but tomorrow is going to be more open because it's just creation, visual creation, right?
Awesome.
And then we're gonna kind of get ready for the last day, which
Okay.
very exciting. I'm very excited for
Cool.
the last day.
Yeah, so
About
tomorrow
exporting, yeah.
tomorrow we can make sure to get the logo design for you, so we can
Yeah.
put that in a shared library,
Nice.
so you can have that available. I think it's also some things that we covered today with Alice. We talked about the UX process. We're seeing a few of those screens right now. Went through a lot of sketching. I think they're still on here.
Yeah.
So we did go through a lot of sketching today, and then tomorrow we're going to be looking to put the prototypes together,
Yeah.
put in some of the designs, and
Yeah.
then I think one of the things that you mentioned that you really get excited about is going into the details within Adobe XD and kind of thinking about,
Yeah.
you can lay out these primary screens, but then there's these navigation points where
Yes.
you click a button and you kind of go to a different screen.
That is actually I have before I started using XD, I did know about it and I did suggest it to a classmate of mine that was doing a project, and I remember she was never really happy about trying new things, so I just told her because I thought, maybe she's gonna try it out. And the next day, she came back and she was like, this is the most fun I've had in a long, long time designing, because the connections that you can make and you can actually see it and it looks so real. And she was super excited and I was like, okay, I need to try this after. But it is the fun part of it, right? You see it. For designers, creation is so important, and especially seeing things almost completed or they look almost like the final product or the final product itself. So I think that's probably the best feature about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, prototyping, going into the details, I think is a lot of fun. So for those of you, also, if you want to update Adobe XD to the most recent update, there's a new 6.0 version that went out last night. We covered this a little bit earlier, but I'm happy to cover it again. One of the new features is just being able to import your artwork or the work that you're doing in Photoshop into XD.
Yeah.
And so within Photoshop right now, I have a file that Paul actually shared with us, which is, I think it's called Sia. But we have a few screens, we have a few artboards here. it looks. I think this is a traveling app that they've actually explored previously.
And
yeah, so if you
yeah.
want to, what you can do is.
And maybe tomorrow I can show it again how to import it. But
Yeah.
we did say you go on the open, like you do open there. And
Yeah,
you
so
can
if we just go to
import
open
it.
down here, this is the new feature. Type in Sia. This is the Photoshop file. And then what it'll do is it'll pull in
Yeah.
all your artboards and show everything basically in the same format. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah.
Leisha,
And
thank
maybe
you.
try it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Leisha,
thank
thank
you.
you so much for joining us today. We're
Yeah.
really excited about tomorrow. We've got Lex and Paul coming up
Yeah,
next.
ready.
Lex is next. Thanks everybody for chatting, sharing,
Thank
and
you.
contributing to the
Chat.
designs.
Yeah.
So
Please come
we'll see
tomorrow.
you-
I want to
we'll
see
you
you again.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome.